What's up guys, Blizzard Productions here, back with another video, and today I'm doing what I've done the last 2 weeks. I am predicting the NFL games. This is for week 3, 2022, and I do believe that these games are a little bit more easier to predict than the last 2 weeks have been. These still are a little bit harder to predict, but I have not been doing good with my predictions lately because they have been pretty much the complete opposite of the way that I thought the games have been going. But this week, I do believe that I'll be a little bit more on track because I think that the games are a little bit more easier to predict, like I said. So now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get into it. To start off this video, we already have a very hard one. Two very playoff-ready teams, and I think the Bills are going to win in this one. But it's going to come down to the very last play, I would think. I think that this game is going to be very good. I thought a lot of games this season are going to be very good, and they end up being kind of blowouts. But I do think that this one is going to be very good. I think there's going to be a lot of offense, but also I think that the defense will have some very big takeaways. And in this game, like I said, I don't really know who's going to win, but I believe that the Bills are going to come away with it just barely. Moving on, we have the Bengals at the Jets. The Jets have looked pretty good this year, and the Bengals have not, but I think the Bengals are going to win in this one. The Jets were very lucky to win that game against the Browns, and it was also skill, but recovering that onside kick that the Jets had gone ahead and kicked, and the Browns had kind of muffed that, it was a very big thing and a lot of luck. And I just think that even though that the Jets do look very good and had that very big comeback victory, I think that the Bengals are going to win because they have not won a game yet, and they're too good of a team to win 3 in a row. I could be wrong on this one, but in my opinion, I think that the Bengals are going to finally win their first game this season. Moving on, we had the Raiders at the Titans, and this game, both teams are 0-2, but the Raiders are going to win in this one. I think that the Raiders are also a very good team that they have both times not gone ahead and held on at the end. They definitely should be 1-1, but they fell apart big time against the Cardinals. And that game, I gotta say, against the Cardinals and the Raiders was an incredible game. If you guys haven't seen that, look up Week 2, 2022, Cardinals-Raiders. And that game is just probably the best, had the best ending to go with that, and it couldn't have been more perfect of an ending to go with that good of a game. With that being said, I think that the Raiders are going to come away with the win in this one. Raiders, like I said, are still, I think, a decent team, and the Titans, I don't know, but they just got embarrassed against the Bills. With that being said, I think the Raiders are going to win. Moving on, we have the Saints at the Panthers. The Panthers have not won a game yet. The Saints have, and I think that the Panthers are going to finally win. Now, this is the third week in a row that I have said that I think the Panthers are going to win, and the last 2 weeks that I have said it, they have gone ahead and lost. Hopefully, they win this time, and both games were very close. It came down to the very end. They lost by 3 in the last game, and then the game before, they lost by 2 against the Browns. So, with that being said, I really do think that against a team like the Saints, I think that the Panthers and Baker Mayfield, who once again I think is very underrated, if his O-line can give him some time, he can make some very big plays and throw the deep ball. With that being said, I think that the Panthers are going to get their first win of the season. Moving on, we have the Ravens at the Patriots. Both teams are 1-1 right now, but the better team is the Ravens, and I think that they're going to come away with the win in this one. The Ravens were very close to starting off this season 2-0, but their defense had just broken down and allowed so much points in the end against Miami of the last game, and they ended up losing, allowing that big giant comeback, like I said, that Miami had. And, I think that the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, he has been trying to prove himself that he should get a contract and stay with the Ravens. And with that being said, if you have a quarterback that is pretty decent like Lamar Jackson, I think that he is going to just start putting on a show and really help the Ravens make it to the playoffs. With that being said, I also think that the Patriots have not looked that good. Their offense has not looked that good. Their defense has also not looked that good. So with that being said, I see the Patriots losing by a small margin and the Ravens winning. Moving on, we have the Lions at the Vikings, and this will be a very good game, but I think the Lions are going to come away with the win in this one. I could be totally wrong, but I'm going with the upset victory and the Lions coming out of nowhere. And don't sleep on the Lions right now. They honestly look very good, and the Vikings, it depends on which Kirk Cousins shows up in this game, but if it's the Kirk Cousins that we saw in the Monday Night Football game last week, I think that the Lions are going to go ahead and win. Jared Goff definitely looks a lot better. Defense still is a little bit sloppy on the Lions, but they will get better. And like I said, their offense with Jared Goff and all that has looked very good. With that being said, I think that the Vikings are going to lose a close one to the Lions. Moving on, we have the Eagles at the Commanders, and I think that this one is going to be any ordinary NFL game. I think the Eagles are going to win in this one, and when I say any ordinary NFL game, I mean that the team is going to win by at least 10, maybe even by 2 touchdowns. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I also don't think it's going to come down to the very last minute. With that being said, I think that the Eagles are going to do very good. I think they'll have a little bit of a slow start, but Jalen Hurts will start to warm up his offense. He'll be able to start making better throws, be able to figure out the defense of the Commanders, and the Commanders' defense are going to start to get tired. And as for Carson Wentz and the Commanders' offense, I think that they're not going to put up that much of a score. I think that both teams are not going to have that high scoring of a game, and their defense will start to shine, and the Eagles are going to come away with the win in this one. Moving on, we have the Chiefs at the Colts, and the Chiefs have looked pretty good this season. The Colts have not, and the Chiefs are going to win in this one. I do think that it's not going to be a blowout like some people have been thinking. I think this is going to prove to the Colts fans and all that the Colts are good and they are who we think they are. They just are not looking good or having a very slow start right now. So with that being said, I still see them losing, but I don't see them losing by a very large margin. I see them losing by about a touchdown or 2. Moving on, we have the Texans at the Bears. Both teams are pretty evenly matched, but I think that the Texans are going to get their first win of the season. They tied with the Colts and put up a good fight last week, and the Bears, I think that it was just a fluke that they ended up winning against the Niners. It was monsoon weather, first of all, and second of all, it was week 1 jitters. I'm not going ahead and putting excuses. They did play very well against the Niners, but it took them a while. With that being said, the Texans have looked very good, and Mills has looked very good for the QB position of the Texans. I think that the Texans are going to put up a good fight and end up coming away with the win in the end. Moving on, we have the Chargers at the Jaguars, and this game, I don't know if Herbert's playing, but I still think that the Chargers are going to win. I did look up if Herbert was playing, and I think he might be, but he's going to be on painkillers. I don't know. I know that his rib was really bothering him after that week 2 loss to the Chiefs, but they put up a very good fight to the Chiefs, and if Herbert can play, that's going to be a big thing for the Chargers, and if he can't play, I still think that the Chargers have a better team and are going to come away with the win in this one. Moving on, we had the Rams at the Cardinals, and Cardinals looked very good last week, and the Rams have looked decent, but the Rams are going to come away with the win in this one. I think that they are a very good team, and I think that the Cardinals were very, very lucky to come back against the Raiders and win that game. That was that game, like I was saying, in the Raiders game that I was talking about, that it came down to the very end. They went into overtime after that comeback, and the way that ended was just perfect with how the game had gone. With that being said, I think that the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals, but I think it's going to come down very close to the end of the game. Moving on, we have the Packers at the Buccaneers, and this is a very good game, and I do think that the Packers are going to win in this one, but like I said, it's going to be very close. I could be totally wrong on this game. The Buccaneers look okay, but I think that Tom Brady, in order for the Buccaneers to beat Green Bay, I think Tom Brady has to look very good in this game, and in my opinion, right now, Tom Brady has not looked himself. I think he will be definitely better in this game, but I still think that the Packers defense is going to make some very big stops, and the offense with Rodgers on the Packers is going to put the Packers ahead and go ahead and win this game by about a touchdown. Moving on, we have the Falcons at the Seahawks, and this one is going to be a pretty close game as well, but I think that the Falcons are going to come away with the win in this one. The reasoning is because the Falcons, they look about what a Falcons team would look like. But the Seahawks, I just think that they don't look as good as a lot of people have been kind of thinking. That they look about what I would expect. They got rid of Russell Wilson, and so they have Geno Smith. And Geno Smith doesn't look that bad. But the Falcons also, Marcus Mariota, he's kind of surprising me a little bit and has definitely been helping this Falcons team win at least one game. With that being said, even though it's at Seattle, I see it coming down to the wire, but the Falcons coming away with the win. Moving on, we had the Sunday night football game, the Niners at the Broncos, and this one is going to be a very, very good game, but I hope that the Niners win in this one, and I do think that they will win, but I think that will be a very close game. The Broncos have not looked that good in their last 2 weeks, but I do think this is going to be the game that they start to show everyone what they really are made of and prove to everyone that they are the Broncos that everyone was thinking of. And so, with that being said, I still think that the Niners are going to be able to hold off the Broncos, but it's going to come down to the very last minute, maybe by a field goal, maybe by a touchdown. We do have Jimmy G on the Niners instead of Trey Lance because Trey Lance is out for the season, and I do like what I saw from Jimmy. And so, with that being said, I see the Niners winning in this one. And lastly, we had the Cowboys at the Giants for the Monday Night Football game. Not the best Monday Night Football game, but the Giants are going to come away with the win in this one. The Giants look very good this season. They definitely look better than they did last season, and Daniel Jones looks better than he has the last few seasons. So with that being said, I see the Giants out coaching and also having their offense kind of start to shine a little bit, and as well as their defense against the Cowboys. I think it will be a close game, maybe by a field goal or so, but I do see the Giants coming away with the win in the end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to like it and subscribe. I enjoyed making it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And I think that my predictions, like I said in the intro, are a little bit better. They still can be wrong. Obviously, it's the NFL, so games can go either way. And we've seen how that has been this season. The last 2 weeks have been just the complete opposite of what I think anyone who has been watching the games have thought the outcome would be. So that could be the case in this. So with that being said, I thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next